Welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our coverage of the Bills and Bills training camp. I'm joined as always by Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. We've gotten a lot of practice because this is what, camp day 6?
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the players that have stood out today, stood out this camp. And we got to talk to one of those players as well today, Dion Dawkins, because let's be real, the defense won this afternoon.
Correct.
In terms
No
of their
question.
play, the level, the intensity, and what they were able to do on the field. But we got to hear from Dion Dawkins, who I think had a really interesting perspective.
He had a perspective on everything.
He
and
really
you know
does,
how much
yeah.
I like to talk. So I asked him who's the big talkers on the team. And Dion said that he likes to talk for specific reasons at specific times for that, and every time is basically that time for him, which was really good. But one of the things he talked about is like, hey, you know, yeah, the defense got us today. We got them the other day. And he goes, that's what makes it good. He goes, if every day, and I think what he meant was if every day he was easily winning his reps, well, then he wouldn't be getting challenged and this defense wouldn't be good enough because these are NFL players and they're fighting out there. Dion's main point today, I thought, was for him and this team is staying in the moment. And I don't know if you guys feel this, but I've felt that way for the entire camp.
I agree.
I feel they've been that way.
Yeah.
They've kind of had their blinders on. And you asked them, you know, do you guys hear the perception? Because last time we were here at camp doing these videos last year, it was Super Bowl favorites, everybody's picking them. And what did Dion say?
Who cares?
And then he went into it. And he actually said, for a bunch of guys who are in their basement eating Twinkies, which I don't like Twinkies. You like Twinkies?
No.
No?
Zebra
Twinkies.
cakes.
You always got one. But I kind of get what he's saying is we're not paying attention to that. Now, the reality is they all will hear these things.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I kind of think it's part of the vibe we've seen. While he says staying in the moment, part of the vibe is also with this team, and maybe even with this offensive line. Block it out a little bit because
Block
people
in
are
general.
doubting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be good.
But people are doubting you. They doubt the line. They
Yeah.
doubt some parts of the offense.
Yeah.
And they've doubted this team.
Yeah, and I think the line kind of got beat up today.
Yeah.
I think the defensive line, which we can talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to start with the offense just because I think there were struggles.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything Dion says. His honesty, and again, another guy that keeps it real, kind of
Absolutely.
calls it as it is. I've always appreciated that about Dion. But Josh, can we talk about Josh?
Yeah.
We got to finish on Dion.
No,
No,
we're
I
good
think we're
because it
good,
leads
yeah.
right into it. Anytime the trainers are near Josh, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Bean also went over to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Today
was
was-
the nerve-wracking one.
Today
Yeah.
was accidental. Today was in a pass rush situation, which the defense was winning.
Yeah.
Josh got frustrated. What was funny here is then he just flung the ball and Diggs caught it and everybody cheered. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not a play you're cheering about.
Yeah.
I think he might have gotten kicked in the shin or in the
Foot
stepped
stepped
on,
on,
whatever it was.
something like that.
Stay away from him.
I know.
Guys, stay away from him. And now let's
It's scary.
continue what we saw yesterday, where Taron Johnson laid him out. Not intentionally, I'm going after Josh,
Right.
but like, you know, that was the play call and the execution, and players got to be more aware. He's got a big red jersey, and he's number 17.
Yeah.
And he's also big.
He's
Yeah.
huge.
He's kind of
yeah.
hard to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay away. You worry about
It's 2 days in a row of
throws
like,
where, you know, you
A
hit a
hula hoop
helmet,
around him or something.
all the stuff that goes
Bubble
on.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
truly, I mean, it's scary when you see that. And yesterday at camp, when Allen was down, it looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him. But you could feel the vibe completely change. Like, oh, Josh Allen is down on the field. And then today, when you saw Bean go over, the trainers go over,
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs
Yeah,
checking
like
in.
I said, it was like one after another. It's like, okay, Josh is okay. And then all of a sudden it was
Yeah.
like Bean, Diggs, Knox.
Yeah.
All of a
You're-
sudden
you're
the
like-
whole guy's coming over and Josh just looked a little bit more. I think he was a little annoyed too. Not only
Yep.
that it
Yeah.
happens, but again, it's 2 days in a row
Yeah.
that Josh Allen has been hit, accidentally or not. He's been contacted.
Now-
Yes.
And he's wearing a non-contact
Contact.
jersey.
Yeah.
So,
So, and more importantly, he's wearing a number 17.
Yeah.
yes.
You know him.
Yeah.
Stay away from him.
Yeah.
By the way, he ended up going right back in,
Right
doing
back
his
in, yeah.
reps, and he's fine.
Yeah,
So it's not
yeah.
about an injury. It's the always constant threat of something.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
he okay type of thing.
Yeah.
Talking
So
more about the offense, Damien Harris, another
Loved
guy.
him.
We talked to him today after practice, and when we, had an earlier interview with him when he first signed with the Bills, I was like, all right, this guy has some personality. I don't even think that gives him enough credit. I felt like he just has so much energy. He's funny. He's making people laugh. He's talking about how much Matt Milano loves house music and like random asides and all this stuff. But you know, he got some run today. Like you saw him out there. Obviously, he's been like a Bills killer when he was on the Patriots. What he can do, and he talked about how, you know, he's been so successful against the Bills and how he thinks he just can get the best out of himself now here.
So I asked him about the way we look at it, and I think a lot of fans look at the running back positions on any team. You're like, well, this guy is the quicker player, and this guy is the big guy. And he's like, listen, I get it. I get why all of you guys say that. I get why fans say it.
Yeah.
The truth is we are coached up by Coach Skipper to do the same things. Now, realizing that they do have some different skills.
Yeah.
But he's going, they don't really change the plays when we're out there. You got to block, you got to pass protect. A lot of people forget about that. Huge role. I mean, one of the greatest running backs in Bills history in Thurman Thomas was an outstanding pass protector and helped his quarterback. I mean, that is a role. But he's saying is, I can catch the ball, I can block, I can be a power runner, I bring physicality, and he's also going to play special teams. That is the life of a running back in the NFL.
Yeah.
But talk about positivity, Dan. This guy is upbeat and positive and thrilled to be with the Bills.
McDermott and Dorsey both pointed out the positive energy that he brings. That's kind of like his theme. I feel like he talks about his pass catching, running, all those things. I think he also takes on positive energy as part of his role. Like, I'm going to come in here, be in a great mood, and try and make everybody's day better. And it reminded me of back when I played college baseball. Our coach used to say, you're either an energy giver or you're an energy taker.
Yeah.
And it was one or the other. Like you're not in the middle. Either you're sucking the energy out of a locker room or you're providing it. Damien Harris is a guy that provides energy. It's funny, on defense it's juice.
Yeah.
I feel like on offense it's energy.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. I agree.
Energy giver.
Yeah.
Energy
yeah.
giver.
Dan?
You played college baseball?
Yeah, a
No
little bit.
idea.
Shot.
I don't think that was a shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
She's had enough of me. She is honest. You would have been back in the sports office yesterday. She has had enough of me.
We've worked very closely together these last couple of weeks. All right, no, but you talk about energy giver or taker depending on the room. But I think he does. He adds a lot of energy. He has that experience as well. And I just think it's a guy who's new to the Bills, but I feel like he's been here for a while, right? Do you get that vibe?
I do. And he said, for whatever reason, the Bills franchise brings out the best in me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said he had his first touchdown at Highmark Stadium in the NFL. We know about, the touchdown he had in that terrible
windy
cold
game.
game.
Yeah.
He took it, 78 yards, something like that, for that touchdown that really
Hey, but
changed
Mike,
the entire game.
if you take that touchdown out,
Okay.
the Bills did a really good
Greg
job against
Williams.
this.
Yeah, take away those big runs, and we did a great job.
You really bottled them up.
And I do think he's going to have a role, but we do see him taking a bunch of snaps on special teams.
Yeah.
This is the world that you live in as a running back, and that's where they're going to be looking for guys to be running under kicks. That's what they do. So, but I do think he's a guy that not only brings the energy, but brings the skill set that I think will help him.
I think he's a great dad. My last point is that they wanted a more physical runner. And again, this isn't an offense that guys are going to necessarily get 25 touches a game. This isn't a Derrick Henry. This isn't a Cleveland.
Get a rhythm.
And Harris has proved that when he gets 8 to 10 carries a game, which is kind of what running back by committee was in New England, he provided ability to get burst. Good in short yardage, also has the ability to be that pinch hitter and is confident to go up there when he gets his chance to have a big play.
Yeah, I think the Bills absolutely can utilize that. And I'm curious to see the difference between James Cook and him and how that will look during the season. But he definitely... Jimbo. Yeah, he called him Jimbo.
James Cook, a quieter guy. But I didn't expect the Jimbo. I didn't think of that. He doesn't seem like a Jimbo.
No,
but
Is this a Florida thing? I think
Maybe.
Jimbos are a Florida
I
thing.
don't know.
Are they? I don't know.
I
guess.
I don't know if James is a... Jimbo's a nickname for James in the South? I don't know.
Well, it's, like Jim Kelly got Jimbo.
Yeah.
Jimbo.
But that is something that I want to see how that will work out during the season.
No doubt.
Because I feel like he can add that spark. So we'll see. All right, another guy that's new to the team, Leonard Floyd. He's so tall. He's so tall.
He's not quite. Is he as tall?
I don't think he's as quite as
It doesn't
tall.
seem like he's listed there, but when they stand next to each other, you kind of forget which one's which.
Yeah.
Because they're both that tall.
We were walking behind him today, and I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Very tall. But he
Can't teach height.
He was eaten today, though.
Oh, he was. Spencer Brown had a handful with him.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do that. You know, you mentioned it, Jenna, when he signed, it was kind of like, wow, that guy was still out there.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has had production. And for whatever the reason, the Bills were able to get him, and especially with Von not being ready to come back, or it appears that way, they need that guy. On paper, and for what we've seen on the field, great signing for this team.
Yeah.
A guy who's done it, he's been around, he's done it in big moments, and they need that, I won't say guaranteed production.
No.
But he has a history of that production.
I was going to say, the Bills have struggled to have double-digit sack guys, and this guy rolls out of bed the last 3 seasons and gets 10-plus sacks.
Yeah.
I think he's got over 30 his last 3 years. Like, this is what this guy does. So I think it's a great point when you go, how is he not signed? And again, I think he got more money up front for the 1-year deal. We talked about it on previous vlogs here after practice. You can all go watch them all back on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. But the fact of, like, Gabe Davis, contract year, time to sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Leonard Floyd this is a contract year.
Right.
You were a big fan of 1-year deals, of prove it for me.
Yeah.
Damien Harris, another guy. Like, these are guys that need to produce immediately, not only for the Bills, but personally.
Yeah, and I think that adds that layer of intensity too.
I agree.
Like,
No
let's
doubt.
be real. That's like
That was
we're
Jordan Phillips. That was Shaq Lawson at
Yeah.
times. Like, those were guys that, like, really needed to perform and had big moments.
Yeah, no, that's something that I was actually having a really interesting conversation. We went to Barbell East in Rochester yesterday. Sal Capaccio, Matt Beauvais doing a version
Friends
of their
of the channel?
podcast.
Yep.
Friends of the channel, where actually Mike and I are on the podcast if
Yep.
you want to check it out. But I was talking to Chris, who is a Buffalo Plus fan, and he was talking about a guy can be on Madden, he's an 89, and whatever team he goes to, you know what you're going to get. Leonard Floyd is a guy, he played very well. Will he be that with Buffalo? But at the same point, to me, I could see him being successful in this situation here. I think he has the ability in terms of the talent. He has that experience.
Yep.
And that's also a guy that I think can fulfill a role that maybe fans aren't really, truly expecting going into this season.
And look, this is a generalization, but I'll say it. I think pass rushing travels. I think you can take it team to team.
I like
It
that.
is an individual
I agree.
skill.
I like that,
It is
yeah.
an individual skill within a group setting.
Yeah.
Right? You need those individual moves. Dion, fascinating today, talking about he and Greg Rousseau.
Yeah.
And him helping Rousseau with some technique where he goes, we're around Von, and Von can get low and around guys, but Rousseau tried it, and Dion basically said to him, hey, Greg,
Doesn't work.
It
Yeah.
may not work because a guy's going to push you down
Yeah.
and take away your advantage. Von can get away with some of that, and he was helping him, which is great. Dion
Yeah.
is helping his teammate.
Yeah.
But I think a guy like Floyd has done this and had that success
At that
multiple
size.
seasons
Yes.
at that height, because he said taller guys, when
Yeah.
they try to get
Yeah.
low, can be leveraged out of it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Which
So,
makes sense, yeah.
But I think in terms of really good pass rushers, it doesn't always happen, but I see them taking that skill set and applying it to a new team, and I think that's what's going to happen with Floyd.
I think we could be into week 4 or week 5 and be going, Leonard Floyd is one of the most important players in the Bills' defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think we can look at him having 4 or 5 sacks early on in the season and going, man, I can't believe this guy was out here in July or June, whenever they signed him.
Yeah,
And
it
if
was
that
a
is
late
the,
signing.
I'm sorry, and if that is the case, and Rousseau is playing at the level they hope he plays, and then Von Miller is
Can you
coming back,
imagine?
now
Yeah.
you got something there.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about a guy that we haven't talked about, I feel like, who really has stood out, especially today, Cam Lewis.
Cam Lewis had himself a nice little day.
He
Yeah.
really did.
Again, we didn't get to film one-on-ones, but
Yeah.
he looked very sharp in goal line. They were doing it from like the 5-yard line. He had a couple of really nice pass breakups. John Butler was, pretty adamant about his great coverage, all those things. He laid the hit of training camp so far that we didn't necessarily see as much as we all heard.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is he laid a big hit.
Yeah.
The bad news is it was on Latavius Murray,
Yeah.
who is a giant.
Massive human being.
Yeah, he
And
is
so it
massive.
was a big hit, and Murray
Murray got up and
eventually-
ran. Murray got up, like it sounded like a car accident, and then you saw Murray, and we all looked at each other and said, "Who did he hit?" Because Murray
Yes.
must have picked up the ball and kept running, and
Yeah.
they're like, "No, it was Murray the whole time. It
Yeah.
was just unfazed."
He
Yeah.
is so big.
He
but
is huge.
Cam did that, and then he had a big-time play in the secondary. And of course, I heard from some snarky people, I won't name their names, Sal Mayorana, who said maybe he could have done that in the game against the Vikings when he went up and knocked the ball down. Let's cut Cam.
Attaboy, Sal.
I'm just
That
cutting
is
Sam.
such a
By the way, he
Sal.
wasn't the only one who thinks of it. When you see Cam,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. It's against maybe the best receiver in the NFL
Yeah.
who made a spectacular play.
Yeah.
But since it was so impactful in the game, Cam got a lot of criticism for
Yeah.
that. But I tell you what, he's a tough guy who hangs in there.
Mm-hmm.
They have faith in him. Jenna, I think if there's one thing we've seen from this coaching staff, when there's guys they trust in that secondary,
Yeah.
they stay around.
They do.
Right? We've seen it. Certainly, you know, we used to say it with Levi Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the most talented player in the world? No, but they trusted him. Now we see it certainly in Dane Jackson. No question. They
Yeah.
trust him. And I think Cam Lewis, at whatever role he has, I think they trust him.
Do you think Dane is the CB2 starter going into that game against New York?
Yes.
I do too. I do too.
I think he's got a very, very good chance. He started a ton of football last year.
I agree, and I
Yeah.
think McDermott and the Bills really love having a trusted guy. Now we talked about this, like
Fans want Kyer so
you
bad.
see, it's a yes, and yeah. The
But-
Bills
but-
also
but I'm just-
used a first-round pick.
Well, it was funny because we talked to John Butler today.
Sorry, there was
That was
bug.
a massive.
That scared me.
That was like a small bird on your shoulder.
Called in for a landing.
Holy cow! But we asked John Butler, who's the defensive backs coach,
Yeah.
and asked him about it. And first of all, we asked him about, it's probably like the fourth or fifth question was about the CB2.
Yeah.
And he's like, yep, I've been versed on this. I knew you guys would want to ask about this. Said they all do things well. They each have their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But when we started talking about Kyer, he was quick to point out that Dane can do so many things well.
Yeah.
That it looks like Dane's checklist of what they like and what Dane's strengths are is a longer list at
Yes.
this moment than Kyer's.
And I get it.
That's what it appears like.
And I get it because this team is so good. I get why maybe the Bills are like, yeah, Kyer could grow in this role.
hard to
but
develop and win.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I kind of get why you're going to go with the guy you trust.
You know, the shame of it is when you look at him physically, he's the kind of guy you would think you want in that spot.
100%.
Yeah.
And by the way, we are only in the training camp of his second year in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
So some guys, it does take a little longer. And I think they are in a fortunate position. On many teams, no question, he'd be starting.
100%.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
they didn't have another guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's too important for this team to not have the right guy at the right time. This is a highly competitive, contending team with quality in the secondary.
Yeah.
And
Hi,
I
Matt
think he'll
Bovee.
get it.
7 Eyewitness News.
That's it. Friend of the channel.
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
just think that Dane can. His man coverage is good enough. His zone coverage is great. His versatility, all of those things. I just think he has a leg up on Kyer. And I know people will hate hearing that because people are all in my mentions saying that, how is Kyer not getting first team reps? They are rotating them. We haven't even talked about Christian Benford,
Yeah.
who again continues to make plays time after time. This microphone is a Christian Benford stand microphone.
Yeah.
I love the guy. I think he's so versatile.
What did McDermott say? I was asking about the middle linebackers, but he says this all the time. There's reps guys get, and then there's reps they earn.
Yeah.
And early on. It's a meritocracy in the NFL. You've got to be performing
Yeah.
to get the reps.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, heck, they showed it in the opening game last year.
Christian
It
Benford.
doesn't matter where
Yeah.
you came from to get here. The best guys are going to play. It doesn't mean the higher draft picks don't get longer looks,
Yep.
and they may have bigger plans. And this doesn't mean Kyer Elam couldn't click in, and
Yeah.
he's playing great, and he's going to play. He's certainly playing for this team.
Yep.
He is absolutely getting snaps on the field, and he did show some at the end of the year. But this is well, you're our number one pick, and you're going to play. Doesn't matter. You're on this field, whether you're undrafted or you're a high draft pick.
Agreed.
Whoever's
Yeah.
the best guy is going to play.
Yeah, I agree.
And McDermott was asked about that with Dalton Kincaid. Something
Yeah.
that we had talked about of why do they seem so shy or timid to play rookies and give them increased roles?
You hate that.
Well,
No, I do
some-
think they do play young players.
That's what I'm saying. You hate
Yeah.
that. You hate that narrative.
Yeah.
correct. And you've been the one that's like, hey, they really haven't done that. Again, and I look back and we can even compare. Josh wasn't the starter week one. It took a
Yeah.
half, but he wasn't the starter. Ed was kind of a rotational guy, and then some of the
Yeah.
last few guys just haven't really panned out.
Their
When
first,
you look
their
at
first early
Yeah,
round picks,
so-
stuff like that.
Multiple reasons for that.
Correct. And what McDermott kind of said was, it's trust.
Yeah.
Like the guys around him have to trust. You have to earn that. And he said too, it didn't matter what draft pick, where you were. That's kind of what it was. I thought that was very interesting when it came to Kincaid, and then obviously when you can take what he said and then kind of move it around to other draft picks.
See where it applies as well.
By the way, neither of you impressed with meritocracy?
Oh, I didn't know what it meant.
Totally went over my head.
That's a fancy word.
Yeah.
I didn't even try.
I mean, I guess it means
It's basically earning.
Okay.
You got to earn it. You got to earn it. There's nobody's
A
giving it to you.
merit-based.
Yes.
Look at you.
Look at us. Look at us.
Look at you.
Look at us.
Look at
Hey,
us.
Look at us. All right. Any other comments from today?
Oh, couple quick things. We talked about pass rush. Ed Oliver blew up a play, came back dancing. He absolutely
Josh
would have
was
had a
not
sack.
happy.
Josh was not happy with that. And the big subject of yesterday, Damar Hamlin.
Yes.
Got
and
a pick
today,
today.
had
Yep.
a pick. Had
Pick
a nice
six.
play.
Took it to
yeah,
the house.
Yeah.
Was tipped.
Yeah.
He caught it, made the play.
Yeah.
Damar got a
Hey.
huge ovation running in the end zone.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
One other.
Every time Diggs catches a pass, there's a cheer. It's,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
And he
told
catches.
you.
There's a lot of cheers.
There are reps against air, and he catches the ball, and it's
On the one where Josh Allen got his foot stepped on, it would have been a sack three different
Oh.
times, and he flung it in frustration, and everybody still cheered when Diggs caught the
yeah.
ball.
It was like, oh, they didn't look back at Josh, but
No,
yeah.
no.
One thing that I do want to add that I think is really cool is just there's so many personalities on this team, and
Oh, yeah.
getting to talk to Dion today and Damien Harris, guys like that. We know Von Miller, like we know so many of these players. Stephon Diggs. It's really interesting to see how Sean McDermott lets those guys be them. Like the culture in this team is set up that I don't want to say like it's not. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like you see a lot of guys that play for other teams. Like when I think of the Patriots, I think of very similar demeanor, approach
Everybody
to the
has to
media.
fit.
Yeah, and like and here it's like you see guys be them. Ed smiling and laughing, Shaq Lawson being
Shaq. It was the one I thought.
yeah, and he talked about being his best version of himself here. I just think that's just a note because I think that is really a fascinating thing because I think it's very authentic. And even Dion Dawkins talked about like, I'm me, I'm weird, but I can be myself here. And I think that does do a lot in terms of how you're valued and how much you want to also buy into that as well.
Yeah, I think McDermott has preached that from the beginning. Having a system, having a culture they want, but letting guys.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Dion's got to be
Yeah,
Dion.
but I think it's kind of surprising considering I feel like McDermott is very
old
much
school.
a
Yeah.
old school
He
buttoned up
also-
kind of guy.
He's old school with Andy Reid, and Andy Reid lets his guys be
that's true.
who they are.
Be
By the
you.
way, real quick, and this is not Sean McDermott, not with the team today, so
Yeah.
attending to a personal matter. Back with the team tomorrow. The next
Yeah.
practice is on Thursday, so
Yeah.
not really sure. It's none of our business. Personal matter
Correct.
wasn't here.
Yeah.
Coaching staff took care of everything. Sean will be back with them, with the team on Wednesday. They don't practice again until Thursday.
Yeah. All right. Please be sure to
right.
like, comment. We had some great questions as well.
Yes.
Please be sure to, if you have another question or anything that comes to mind, comment in.
Balin Spector is not in the middle linebacker competition.
Oh.
Okay, we got some comments. I just want to put this out there that everybody didn't like that we ripped on Balin Spector because Diggs torched him on the one play. And everybody's like, everybody else said Balin Spector had a great day. All the other people. Balin Spector ain't gonna sniff the field.
So, wouldn't you guys say about keeping receipts? Is that what he does?
Yes.
Sort of in the comments.
Yeah.
He pounced on that.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like,
It's really a two-person race.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
it is.
It's Dotson and
and
Bernard.
it's not Dorian
It's
Williams.
not
Not even getting
It is
those
two.
snaps.
Which he's a third-round pick.
I know.
Correct.
Now that doesn't mean eventually he does.
So was
Yeah.
Bernard.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Spector was a 7th.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no knock on Balin Spector. Very nice.
Hey,
Very
Matt
nice
Milano
person.
was a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And he's been a great player
just saying.
for them.
Yeah, he's certainly.
I just
not.
wanted,
House music favorite,
Just
Matt
wanted
Milano.
to say that because I know people want to know about the middle linebacker position. It is a two-horse race.
It seems like Tyrell Dodson is the guy to beat. Which
Agreed.
again kind of goes back to the same concept between him and Dane Jackson in terms of
Yep.
that's the guy that they know, that's the guy that they trust, and that's the guy that's going to hold on to
Yep.
the job until someone else goes
Takes it.
and takes it.
By the way, I also wanted to mention I'm a big house music fan.
Do you know what house music? I
no
was going to say,
idea. Could
I don't
care
know
less.
meritocracy. You don't know house music.
And I
We're
don't
all
care.
learning something today.
I know.
This is why we work. This is why we all bring something to the table.
All right, love it. Visit the Buffalo Plus store, buffaloplus.com, as well as be sure to check out all of the other videos we are uploading every single day. So check it out.
5 shorts a day.
That's it.
Jenna, how those coming along?
Not well. All right, for Dan and Mike, I'm Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy our channel. Thanks for watching Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris. Woo!